Hey everyone, it's Anna here at Dee's, and I have a beautiful white pumpkin fall grapevine wreath kit for you, and I'm going to show you how to make it, and then you can head on over to shopdeeslouisville.com and get yourself a kit if you like this style. We have a lot of really pretty fall things coming up for you, so definitely stay tuned. Lori and I are working hard on getting some kits for you, and today's is going to be so beautiful. You're definitely going to want to head over and grab yourself one. I'm going to start out by using the 18-inch grapevine frame. This is the only thing not included in your kit. So if you do need a grapevine wreath, you can purchase this up on the website, or if you have one at home, you can reuse, take all the stuff off. That'll work just fine. This is an 18-inch though. It's considered medium and it works really well on your front door size-wise. So we're gonna start out by taking this really pretty kind of mixed pine stem. It's got wheat in it though, which I really like because it adds the ivory, but then it has all this beautiful wired pine, kind of like cedary mixed stuff, and then this like paper grass shoot, which I love. It's just a lot of different textures. So this actually very obviously will be 3 sections. So when you go to fluff it, it's gonna look like 3 total sections. We're gonna chop them apart though and use them all separately. What I love about a mixed stem too is when they do it like this, it's so nice because you don't have to do all this work and go get wheat and sticks and everything. It's all already on there, and this stem is nice and full and gives you the 3 big chunks. So I fluffed the first chunk out, and I'm going to dip it in a little glue, and I'm going to glue it bottom of the wreath about 6 o'clock. All right. The next chunk, I'm going to do the same thing, fluff it out. A little bit of glue, and we're going on the side over here about 8 o'clock. Leave yourself a gap because we're gonna actually, you know what, I'm going even higher with that one. I'm gonna go about 9 o'clock because we've got pumpkin stems and berries, all kinds of stuff to put on this one. All right, there we go. And then last one, we're going up to the top up here, a little bit of glue right down into the wreath. And then I didn't fluff that one before. I'm gonna fluff it while it's up there. Okay. Beautiful. All right, next up we're gonna add our white pumpkin stems. So I've got 2 of them. These are great. And if you like these a lot and want to mix them into your decor, we actually have these as a set of 3 up on the website. So if you want to tuck them into something you already have, maybe you want to add a little touch of the ivory into it, this is a great set online. Really inexpensive way to add a touch of fall to your house, especially if you're like a neutral, all gray kind of house person. I'm going to cut that bottom of the stem off. We have 2 of these. The first one is going to go in, you know what, I'm going to go up and into the wreath. I'm still leaving a little bit of a gap right there because that's where my bow is going to go. But then I'm just going to take a few seconds, fluff it around. Look how pretty that white pumpkin is in there. The second one, we're going to go up to the top. The top part of the wreath is not going to get any ribbon, so this is going to really be the focal point up there. So I'm going to make sure that pumpkin goes right in the middle of that stem. No gap up here. Okay, same thing up here. Just take a few seconds, move everything around where you want it to go. So pretty. And the wheat from that first stem really just kind of ties in nicely. All right, next up we're gonna do ribbon, and then lastly we're gonna put some berries in there. So first ribbon I chose was the ivory background with the sage pumpkin. Love this ribbon. It is featured in a set on the website. It always sells out for us. I'm going to do 2 loops of that one. Next up, I chose this green with a little bit of orange and kind of like a mustard pale ivory color. I'm going to do a couple loops of this. The reason I chose this one is because the berries we're going to add have lots of shades of like orange and mustard and green in them, and I wanted to tie them in. And then lastly, I've got this classic for us. It's the orange and ivory buffalo check. I'm going to put this right on the very top. Couple loops of each. So that's a good 3-yard bow there that I just made. 2 loops of each. I've got a tail kind of going up of each one kind of coming down. I'm going to tie it off, and we're going to put it right above that white pumpkin at the bottom of this wreath. Let's see. So I'm going to put it on there, and I'm going to kind of shimmy it down a little bit behind the pumpkin. There we go. Twist that on really well, and then you're going to move everything around. So I like my pumpkin in the middle of my bow on this kind of style of a wreath. So I'm just going to take a few minutes. Definitely bring some of that greenery back to the front though. You don't want it to look like you just stuck a bow onto something. Like this is a great leaf to bring back to the front. Now I'm going to trim my tails. Okay, and take a few more minutes. I'm going to bring this out. And now we're ready to add in our berries. So for the berries, I've got this cluster group here. It's the same kind of thing where it's obvious pieces. It actually comes in about 5 chunks. You can use them all together, you know, in one piece, or you can cut them apart separately. I'm going to cut them apart into maybe 3 groups, because I want to have a little bit more control over where I'm putting them. So I'm going to do 3 sections of them. Take the tag off. These guys are water resistant outdoor berries. So they're the kind that don't pop, which is really nice for if you're hanging on a door that has no coverage. So first grouping, it's got 2 coming up at it. I'm going the back behind this bow on the left. I just noticed a little bit of a gap and I want to fill it in. And look how it adds a little bit of color, but it still keeps the wreath nice and neutral, but a little bit more pop of fall. So I'm going to use the other 2 up here just because I want to add that color up there as well. So a little bit of glue kind of behind the pumpkin. Push it in. I'm going to bring this stem down. There we go. All right, and last I have this one little piece here. I'm going to the right of the bow down here at the bottom. Perfect. So you guys, that was super fast and easy. A really pretty classic wreath for fall with a little bit of a twist, adding the ivories and things into it. Stay tuned. We have so many more great fall tutorials coming up for you. And head on over to shopdeeslouisville.com and grab yourself a white pumpkin wreath kit.